Can you tell us a story about Beyonce that maybe nobody has heard about before?
She's actually, yes, I want individual lashes. Yes, I want a statement lip. But yes, I'm gonna call the White House after we're done because I need to have, because this is
I got hot sauce in my
hot sauce in my hot sauce in my
oh yeah. Drop it down.
Hey guys, it's me, David Ruff. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here with Sir John. If you guys don't know who he is, you're probably not cultured in the beauty world. Sir John is Beyonce's makeup artist, L'Oreal brand ambassador, and now just launched his new TV show, American Beauty Star. So you guys are going to kind of get to know him a little bit. It's my first time meeting Sir John, so I'm going to get to know him a little bit. And you guys are kind of some beauty secrets, some inside information about his new show and the celebrities he has worked with. So let's get into this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and just like what you do.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. Basically, I'm a celebrity makeup artist by trade. That's what people know me as. But also I work in editorial and the fashion industry as well. So that's where I sort of got my stripes and I started. I went to school for art history since I was 6 years old, and then my mom, she took all my drawings to a school and said, hey listen, my kid is super talented. I had no idea. So I got into this amazing school, got into a really cool high school. I went to college for art history, and then I dropped out of college around 19 and a half or something like that because tuition was so expensive in this private school I was going to. So what I had to do is work. And so I went to the makeup counter. I went to MAC Cosmetics. This is back in 2001 or something. I actually transferred to New York. So I started working in New York City in Soho. And then I got fired. I got fired at MAC for being late, as usual. And what happened then is I went into visual merchandising. So I went into the windows. I started doing the windows for Bergdorf Goodman, Barney's, Henry Bendel. And then I became the men's merchandiser for Gucci for a while. So I got this cool wardrobe allowance, some cool shoes, suits, and everything like that. But I was on my lunch break one day, and then I ran into a friend of mine who, listen, hey, I'm working with this lady, her name is Pat McGrath. You should meet her, and like the fashion week is coming up. This couple weeks we're going to do shows at the tents. So I think you should come and meet this lady. So I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose. Why not? So I met Pat McGrath. At that show I also met Naomi Campbell as well. And she asked me, was I going to be in Italy 2 weeks later for the Italian shows? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And I had no idea how to get there. I had no passport, so I just had to get there afterward. And I got myself there. But so I started working in that whole circuit, and I became Charlotte Tilbury's assistant. So Charlotte Tilbury has a massive beauty brand at the moment. Became like a mentor. She still is such a mentor to me and like a fairy godmother in a sense. She introduced me to Beyonce in 2010 at Tom Ford's first women's wear show in New York here. I got a contract with L'Oreal a couple of years after that, and things are great. Now I have a show. It's called American Beauty Star. I'm the mentor. I'm like the Tim Gunn, and I host it with Adriana Lima. So Adriana Lima, we all know and love in the business. So that's a little bit about me.
Where are you from, and like how does that inspire you,
Yeah.
and how did that like kind of jumpstart your career in a sense?
Good question. Yeah, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so I'm from like actually a small town. I'm not from a huge big city. I grew up near Niagara Falls. It influences me because I have roots, and my roots won't allow me to get too much of a big head. Or you know, I just moved to Los Angeles. I live in West Hollywood, and you work around celebrities and fashion people, and you feel like I've seen it change some people. And I don't think I'm going to change. I think I'm going to be pretty much anchored and rooted in who I am because of where I come from.
How do you like approach those people in the beauty and fashion industry that kind of been nice to you, but then like kind of just change because they get bigger, quote unquote?
That's such a good question. Such a good question. I mean, we live in a space right now in time where, you know, everyone they feel like they have celebrities because they have a following or they have this or that. And I mean, I've seen some people have egos larger than this room, and they have never been on a set before. They've never worked with a celebrity. They've never. But how do I handle those people? You know how to handle fake people? You be really real with them. So like when someone's like pretentious or whatever, I'm really sucker free. We like to call it. In Harlem, we like to call it sucker free, right? But what that means is that basically you really have time for the BS. So I'm so attracted and so like organically into people who have a sense of realism, or people who understand that this is all this could go. You know, like I have amazing clients, and I'm just going to be here, and what's going to stay is my character, how I've treated people on the way up, and those same people who I've seen on the way up, I'll see on the way back. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's even like that, like even when I start contacting people, because I'm working with older people since I'm only 15, but also even people in high school, like, they're so mean. Like, there are many different encounters when people are just so petty for no reason, and you just don't give them the time of day.
You see people who have this, this flagrant or this astronomical sense of like self-obsession. That's insecurity. So like when you see people who are mean or feel like they have to be nasty and rude, or like I've met people who are only, I don't talk about what I do. So like either you know or you don't, but I've met people who were so rude to me or so nasty to me until someone's like, oh, do you know that, do you know Sir John? We're at a party, and then someone reintroduces me, but I remember 2 seconds ago, before you thought I knew no one or I had nothing to help you with, you were an asshole, to excuse my language. So that's what you want to look for in people. Like, you want to look for character.
So many people, like, even before I started my blog, and then they just want to become friends with me because I have like followers on Instagram, and I'm just like, what are you doing? You were mean to me like 3 years ago. Like,
right. But so always watch out for those people.
What made you interested in being a makeup artist?
Well, what made me interested in being a makeup artist was the fact that I love transition. So I mean, as a child, I had a garden, but I also like to see the before and the after. So I'm so involved in, the transformative power that makeup gives, or it actually is. It increases a woman's confidence, a sense of self-worth. Like when you involve in a woman's not just physical transformation, but her emotional well-being, or the way you can actually show a cancer survivor how to line her eyes, or how to give herself, maybe a better eyebrow when she didn't have, because of chemo treatment or that. Those things change your life, So this was something that I wanted to do, and women have such an emotional connection to color and makeup that it's just one of the easiest things that I could do to impact not just women, but society.
Did you always want to do makeup, or did you kind of just discover that once you met Pat McGrath?
Not at all. Not at all. I kind of fell into all this. Everything that's happened to me has been completely organic and by mistake, and just sort of, I've been led by the universe, and I wanted to be a designer. I wanted to do menswear. I wanted to do like clothing, and like that was what I went to school for. But this is I went where the universe was taking me.
Do you see yourself maybe even launching like a clothing line in the future, or doing that sort of thing?
I believe I have something to say, and when it comes to style, and maybe a capsule collection with someone who has an established brand already would be nice. But in this space and time, I'm definitely going to concentrate on what the people know me for.
Art student myself, and as you being a previous art student, how has working with like different mediums and techniques and colors and just learning about art history and that aspect influence your work and like change how you do what you do?
Such an amazing question. I'm going to be honest with you. And you know what I tell so many young artists, or some people who want to be a makeup artist or hairstylist, don't follow other makeup artists. If you want to be an impactful makeup artist, if you want to be impactful in the beauty space, go to a museum, follow people who, like, go and look at the Renoir exhibits or the French Impressionists. But if you are only following YouTubers or bloggers or other makeup artists, how do you know how a wash of color on a painting that's 400 years old, how that translates into doing a makeup application on a new celebrity or a new talent? So if you're only following the blind, if the blind is following the blind and there's this rat race in the circle, the application process dies. So I want to say, if you want to be a great makeup artist, go take an art class. Don't go to makeup school.
Because I go to art school in high school, so I'm always like doing shading and learning all these different techniques. Absolutely. So it's like, I've never worn makeup, but my friends, when they're like getting ready and stuff, and they're like, I don't even know how to do all this eyeshadow. I'm like, I got you. Here's 3 colors. I can blend things together.
Also, having a knowledge of color doesn't just impact your makeup regime or your makeup arsenal, but it also translates into your wardrobe. It translates
knowing what
into
complements
your home
each
as well.
other.
Absolutely.
Well, what inspires you and your work?
I'm inspired by real women. I'm inspired by looking, in this space right now, we're in 2017, and it happens to be so inclusive and so like everyone's a part of the game. And also, if you look at Rihanna's Fenty release this previous fashion week, it just goes to show that every woman having an opinion now. So there's not this marginal, narrow definition of beauty like there was a few years ago or when I got in the game. So what inspires me is to see how real women every day are like doing something cool and new. So when I want to go to the clients and bring something fun, or Joan or V or whoever, I'll look at Instagram, how a girl getting ready for date night in Dubai is doing her eyeliner for the first time or for the 50th time. And so we bring that back into, the set or the editorial or the campaign or the video, and it happens to be current and kind of cool.
So how has your success positively and negatively impacted your life?
That's a good question. Wow. So I'm going to say negative. Let's go for negative first. So negative, you see I'm like all nervous because it's such an emotionally charged question, but yeah. It can be, success can be isolating, and so when you have a lot of wins and a lot of things that are coming to you quickly, you don't necessarily always garner the love of your friends, and you know, everyone isn't always happy for you because you are also you're a mirror to their accomplishments or their timeline as well. So sometimes you're gonna lose friends on the way to the top, and that has nothing to do with, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh, maybe I need to be more of a friend, maybe I need to give more of myself and pour more. But like I said on an Instagram the other day, some people are gonna say you're too much. Those aren't your people. So I want to say you need to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. And that's sometimes when you're such a determined person or you're striving for the best, it can be lonely in that space because a lot of people are just, they don't understand that mindset. So, but it's the gift and the curse because it's such a blessing. These are champagne problems at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, and it like differentiates yourself at the end of the day with all of your friends, like, because you kind of have that to bring to the table.
Absolutely. Oh, in terms of good stuff, how does it make an impact? I'm living my dreams. You know, I'm actually closer to, you know, buying the home that I want. You know, having like my first like car was a Range Rover. It was kind of cool, like to do that. You know, and I grew up with a single mom. I grew up very humble beginnings. So all this is new to me, and I don't take it for granted. But I just realize I'm blessed every day.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Wow, where do I see myself in 10 years? That's a good question. So where do I see myself in 10 years? 10 years, I want to have my own brand, and it had been successful. Maybe at 10 years from now, the brand that I made so successful, I'll sell to a huge company or something like that. 10 years from now, I should be in a place where I have a home in LA, I have a home on the West Coast and the East Coast, and my mom's good. I hopefully will have children, and you know, I really want kids really bad. I'm looking at surrogates now. But I think that I'll be in a place where that the work is working for me as I'm sleeping. That's the goal.
Paparazzi, catch my fly, my cocky fresh.
So if you had to choose one item to do a full face of makeup with, what would it be and how would you use it?
Oh, okay, good question. If I had to choose one item, and honestly I've been talking about this all week. So monochromatic makeup happens to be super popular in the beauty space at the moment. So when I say monochromatic, it's using the same color on the lips, similar color on the eyes and the cheeks. So I would use a liquid matte lipstick. So these liquid mattes that everyone's loving on Instagram, you can use it as a cream blush because it's not oily, it's not going to clog your pores, and it's also the best base for your eyeshadow or smoky eye. So I would use it on the eyes, I would use it on the cheeks and the lips.
A natural dewy look or a matte look?
Dewy all day. Skin conveys so much about a person's station in life, as we all know. And
what are your favorite products to suggest to my viewers, especially for like the teenage girls that are watching and like my teenage audience?
Okay. For my teenage girlfriends out there, I would say what you're gonna have to get into your makeup arsenal is tinted eyeliner. So tinted eyeliner, maybe cobalt blue eyeliner, a navy, or you know, cobalt blue or navy, some kind of plum or purple would be beautiful, and you need an emerald, some kind of emerald, like jewel tone waterproof pencil. And I like the Silky Seam waterproof pencils by L'Oreal, really, really good. But after that, maybe a tinted lip balm or a matte lip, a liquid matte lipstick, and cream blush. So 3 things: liquid lip, cream blush, tinted eyeliner.
What is your favorite foundation or concealer to hide acne and kind of allude to like perfect glowing skin even if you don't have it?
So this is the thing, this is a great question you asked. So hiding acne is actually sometimes the opposite of when you want coverage from acne or texture, you want to stay away from glowing products. Because the more you glow or the more light reflective your skin is, it's going to show texture. So I want to say if you have skincare concerns, I like to say skincare concerns, not acne, go for a matte finish. But if you do have smooth skin or if your skin is in a good place, maybe it's just a week out of a month that it's in a good place, that's when you go with your Radiant Creamy liquid foundations or cream foundations. I'll suggest anything that happens to be sheer to buildable. So don't go off the bat looking for heavy coverage. Even if you have a little bit of acne, give yourself coverage where you need it, but go soft everywhere else.
Because it's even worse when they have a cakey foundation and that sort of thing, like you can tell.
Yeah, you don't want to be lacquered from forehead to chin, ever.
With your clients and kind of with yourself too, like how do you determine which features to accentuate?
Well, with myself, I don't really have the, the option of like showing different multiple features. Girls have more fun than guys.
Yeah.
But how do I decide? You know, that's a really good question. Sometimes time is always a deciding factor. So if I have time, I'm going to go for eyes. I love to work with eyes. I'm an eye guy. Everyone knows it. But like, you know, because there's so much that can happen in the eye. Humans have an emotional connection in the eyes first. However, if someone comes to me and they're like, shit, I only have 11 minutes, I have 15 minutes, whatever, we're going to do a statement lip. We're going to do beautiful skin, maybe a nice brow to go with that, and the lip is going to be the focus. So, because no one knows you didn't have time to get that done.
What is your favorite trend for fall?
Merlot lips. So I love a blue-based red, like a Merlot wine or like some kind of raspberry or berry, because it makes your teeth look really, really brilliant and really white. So if you ever want your teeth to look really white, ladies, go for a blue-based red. If you ever want your tan to pop, or if you want your complexion to come alive, go for an orange-based red. We call it a 50s red in the business.
Paparazzi, catch my fly, my cocky fresh.
I recently read the article you did with Birdie, and so you said wearing makeup is an act of feminism. So how does that resonate with you, and how do you relate to that in a sense?
After you touch on feminism, any kind of like, you know what, there's so many things, so many hot spots.
Because there's no real definition to it. It's like more so depending on the person.
Yeah. The belief, or this is my opinion, but I feel that caring about how you look and caring about how impactful your eyelashes are is not mutually exclusive from also wanting to know what's happening on CNN or knowing what's happening in Congress. Like, the two are the same. So some people believe that a woman who's so into the contour kit or this or that doesn't necessarily concern herself with things that are like on the news or on CNN. But I feel like, personally, I work around really strong women all day, every day. And these strong women are like, yes, I want individual lashes. Yes, I want a statement lip. But yes, I'm going to call the White House after we're done, because I need to have, because this is happening or that's happening. You kind of know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, so the two are okay to go coincide.
And it's also like, even if they don't, that's their own prerogative. And like, who's anyone to say like they're wearing makeup, like they're not caring about like essential things in the world? Because I feel like also like people like come up to like a friend of mine, they're like, oh, you're wearing way too much makeup, or your outfit's so extra. That makes them feel good, and who's that? And
to strip a woman down, to take away, it's the right of a woman to basically go in and use makeup as something to cast a spell, to be alluring. It's like a sense of adornment, you know? And who are we to strip this woman bare to make her, to say that's what makes you equal? Like, no, you can do both. You can have both. That both are who we know. And I feel like we live in a world where women already do run the world.
We run this mother. Yeah. Girls. Pigeonholing us and saying that we can only care about politics and not beauty is anti-feminist in itself.
Okay,
that's what I got from what you were saying.
Yes. Perfect. Okay.
As a fellow guy in like the beauty and fashion industry, how do you kind of deal with or kind of go about like different gender stereotypes? Because a lot of people are always like, oh, so you're a guy in like the makeup industry, or you're a guy in the fashion industry. Like, how do you deal with that? How does that like empower you or not empower you?
And you know what? Wow, such a loaded question, and this is a conversation all into itself. But so listen, this is the thing. I love being a guy. I do. I have fun with it because like, but I also love the world of women, you know, and that's why I'm in the world of women. But one thing I will say is that, yeah, I've been, you know, people say, oh, well, you work in beauty, or you work in, yes, I have there's a mental transvestism that happens. When I say that, that means that the most impactful men are able to enter the spirit of the opposite sex. And also with women. There's so many women who work on Wall Street, who work in the finance department or ad firms, who understands the male psychology.
And they automatically associate that with like who you are as a person, or your sexuality, or whatever. Like I feel like your passions in life, kind of people are quick to judge that and kind of relate that to X, Y, and Z.
Speak women. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, you don't have that gift, guy. Like, it's uncomfortable for certain men, or straight men, I'm going to say, to like, and to relate. You don't necessarily, but I'm not looking for you to relate with me. I'm not looking for that. If you're looking for it, then you're in a place where there can be a gap. But I'm very fulfilled with who I am, and honestly, I've been blessed in my life that I don't have so much of that as an issue. Even when I was a teenager, I was popular as a teenager. I was the best dressed in high school, most outspoken, prom prince, like all that kind of stuff. But people had questions, or people like talk stuff about me. But I could have your girl if I wanted to, but I don't. Like, you know, I could have your girl if I wanted to, but I don't. Like, you know, like,
yeah.
But it's so, and I was just that cool guy. So I think that the way where the society's going, people care less and less. And your generation cares a lot less than mine. And that's the gift, and that's the beauty of it. It's the fact that the next generation of millennials, they don't care about color, they don't care about religion, they don't care about sexuality.
Yeah, and I go to a school where everybody's so like artistic and liberal, and there are like, you know, like private schools in New York City and like, you know, other like smaller schools that are, you know, still kind of sort of like that. But everybody's kind of, social media, it's a good and a bad thing in a sense, because like social media can tear someone down, but it also can, you know, like show someone that it's okay to be themselves. And I feel like that's really definitely positively impacted our generation. And in my school, it's like everybody's so like celebrating of who everybody is and their passions. And I think if somebody's different or if somebody's not different, that's like special in its own
Can I tell you, I'm looking to you guys as the inspiration of inclusivity, of, you know, not caring about gender or race or religion. Like, the hope is not in my generation. I hate to say, I feel like I'm old saying this, but really the hope is watching you guys have friends. I see so many young kids who are in high school who have trans friends or this or that, and it's like, oh, that's a thing. Like, why do you care? And that's the beauty of it. Like, oh my God, why couldn't this have happened 50 years ago? So I think what you guys have, and what you're on the cusp of having, is never happened in history of humanity.
I always like catch adults always classifying someone by their race or by their sexuality or by their gender or by their not gender. So I think it's always like they have to put like this pronoun or this adjective before something, when you can't just say like, this is my friend. Like, society's always so used to just boxing people, and like beauty and fashion is a way of kind of celebrating that and also escaping that in a sense where you're like saying, this is my way of expressing myself and also kind of distracting myself at the same time.
Absolutely. And you know, it may be about isolating them to what we are familiar with or what we can process. But once someone steps out of that realm of, I can't process how a guy can act like a straight guy, but he does makeup, and it's too much for me to process, so that becomes weird for me to process. And has nothing to do with you. As we say, that's not your shit, that's their shit.
Exactly. Oh, let's talk about haters. So let's talk about haters. Let's talk about how to clap back, how to not clap back.
Yes, let's do it.
How do you go about that?
How do you go about dealing with haters? You know how you deal with haters? You become so much more of who you are. And when I say that, that means that so first of all, it's stay away from social media at times. Social media can, for the best of us, the most successful of us. I know supermodels who look at Instagram and they're like, damn, well, what am I doing this week? Or like, why am I not booking the show? Or my body doesn't look like that. I'm like, girl, you're beautiful. Like, you're drop dead gorgeous, but it makes us all feel insecure. So sometimes unplug from social, right? And get into a place where you start loving yourself, loving your own secret sauce, loving the things that make you different and set you apart from everyone else. That is beautiful. Now in this space and time, that is this currency. So what happens when you have people who just don't understand it is that, you know, it's not your fault that you can't understand who I am or how I do what I do, and it doesn't concern me. Long as you just stay in your lane. But when you come into my lane, that's where we run into a problem. You know
exactly.
what I mean? So, and that's a different conversation. But so how do you deal with haters? You deal with haters by allowing your flower to flower. Fill up the room with your presence. Like, if you guys, all of you guys, young guys, should also read The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene and 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. It changed my life. And what it also teaches you about like stories that are 400 and 500 and 600 years old about history and Josephine Bonaparte and all these other people. But what you realize is that, hey, what I'm doing with myself and who I'm continuing to evolve in, I'm going to continue to meet people like you, and I'm going to continue to meet people who don't understand who I am. But it has nothing.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay. But it has nothing to do with who I am or what I'm doing. And I shouldn't stop doing what I'm doing because you don't understand it or it doesn't translate to you. Do you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I feel like every hater situation is a different situation. Those people at the end of the day aren't worth your time, and they just...
I'm going to tell you something a wise man told me, right? And this is for all of you guys at home. So you don't have haters, you just have very confused admirers. So most of the people who you think hate you, they don't hate you, they just don't know how to love you.
They're just like your fans.
They're just confused fans. So think about it like that, guys.
Paparazzi, catch my fly and my cocky fresh.
What is your favorite look you've created for Beyonce?
Wow, favorite look? Ooh, it goes way back. We were shooting a video called Mine. We shot it in Melbourne, Australia for the Beyonce album. It's like a teal eyeshadow, and it's a little bit of pink in the crease, and it's sculpted cheeks, soft skin, and it just was really impactful, and it looked great on camera.
What is your #1 tip for achieving a Beyonce look?
Beyonce look is all about impact. So basically having a serious lip statement, a great brow, maybe a couple individual lashes, and it's all about the skin.
What are Beyonce's favorite products? Skincare, makeup, that whole thing?
Well, the products that I like to use on B would happen to be tinted moisturizers, luminizers. I love to make her skin light reflective, individual lashes.
Can you tell us a story about Beyonce that maybe nobody has heard about before?
She's actually really silly and funny in person. So Story that we don't know about was a photo of me. I'm actually on her back. It's a real photo. So I lost a bet, and he was like, she can pick me up. I'm like, you can't do this. Like, you're not that strong. So I had to stay really super still, and then she literally heisted me up like she was a football player, Colin Kaepernick or whatever. And we took the photo. You could see in my face that I was so uncomfortable, but for her birthday next year, I put it on Instagram.
It didn't surprise me that Beyonce could pick you up.
I was like, oh shit.
Paparazzi, catch my fly, my cocky fresh.
How has being behind the scenes, like most of your career, and now being in front of the camera on American Beauty Star, like kind of feels different, or how's it changed you in that aspect?
Wow. Okay, so to be honest with you, I'm feeling a little insecure about everyone seeing, like, I've never been on television for that long. So people will see a tiny interview of me or something else, but I'm like, they're looking at all of the insecurities that I have, or they kind of know. So in my head, that's sort of playing out. And I'm sure that happens to people at home or everyone. Flip side, I should get out of my head when I say that. It's cool. It's going to be an eye-opening experience. I hope this opens some new doors.
As a mentor on the show, how has other makeup artists kind of mentored you when you were starting out as a makeup artist?
Yeah. I've been blessed to have so many great teachers. So I've had Charlotte Tilbury. I mean, I worked for Pat for a very brief time. And I've had Sam Fine. I'm not sure if you know, but Sam Fine is, you know, he's the king of contour. He's the OG contour. We all know how to do it because he did it back in the 90s. In the early 90s, and he made it so impactful. He even wrote a book on it. But I have great teachers who surround me, who saw potential in me at a very young age, like how you are. I was your age, and I had great, amazing people who were like, I see greatness, and we need to cultivate it. You need to stay away from partying and having fun. And I was like, well, I just want to be a kid. I just want to have a good time, you know. But at the end of the day, they saw something in me I didn't see in myself, and I was able to listen. I love to listen to people who have more knowledge than I do. I love to sit with my grandmother. I was an 8-year-old rolling around like 50 and 60-year-old ladies, like the Golden Girls. Like, those are my friends. I was at bingo, and I was the only, you know, person, but I loved older knowledge. I loved older people. I loved wisdom.
Yeah,
so
I'm like that too. Like, I'd much rather hang out with like my parents' friends and my parents, and like go out to dinner with them, than like go to a party. Like, I obviously have my close friends, but like. But
you should always stay a white belt. I should say this. Stay a white belt. So there's too much arrogance at the black belt level. When you're a black belt, you feel like, hey, I know so much. I can't learn anything else. But when you continue to be a student, you'll always grow. More experience will come to you. So much more comes to you when you're looking for knowledge.
What qualities do you look for in a contestant on the show?
What qualities do you look for in a contestant on the show? You know what? That's a good question. So many people have the ability to do amazing hair, amazing makeup. They're great stylists or whatever that may be. But you know what makes a star, in my opinion, is the fact that I always tell people I'm in the business of the people. You know, and I don't necessarily, there's so many amazing makeup artists in the world today. There's so many amazing hairstylists. You can look at Instagram and see that. But the reason people call me back or they campaign for me is because of how I make them feel. Like, when you have a client, or when you have someone and you're the last person she sees before she sings in front of millions of people, or she walks on the runway or does a campaign or an editorial shoot that's going to be around the world, your energy is so impacts that job. It impacts the way she sings. It impacts so much of what's happening around them. So if you have good energy, if you're not just nice to the client, some people are just nice to the celebrity or the model, but they're assholes to every person in the room. But every person in the room has a job. The assistant has a job, the publicist has a job, the beauty director, the fashion director. And when you have a way of tapping into the heart of everyone, you'll be wildly, wildly successful.
What should we look forward to this season on American Beauty Star?
Alright, cool. So this season on American Beauty Star, you should look for Adriana Lima to go in and just be her bubbly, lovely self. Her laugh is so infectious. I'm in there and I'm giving these guys tools to hopefully take with them after the show is over with, and just to become better. I mean, listen, I'm learning from these guys as well. I'm learning from you today. Like, we did a social media sort of class or drive-through before we started this video. So as long as you can have that exchange of ideas between yourself and your contemporaries, you'll always be in a good place. And hopefully that shows in the show.
So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys got to kind of know him a little bit better and kind of learn. So stay tuned for more collaborations and videos with Sir John. Follow both of us at David Evan Ruff, at Sir John Official, and like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you want to know. Have any questions for him? I'll make sure they get to him. So thank you guys for watching, and stay rough.
I like to stay rough. That's cool.
I just might be a black Bill Gates in a maybe, and I